Welcome to Banana Bread Trades. Here we talk about trading futures. Shit post on Discord, post dank memes, and most importantly, eat banana bread and make money.
Welcome everyone to Banana Bread Trades. My name is Goose and welcome back to another recap and trade plan going into Tuesday. So Monday, we just finished. We had a trade plan yesterday and literally nothing happened. We did break above 52.50 like we talked about, and we wanted to long the reclamation of 52.50, which I did. And then we proceeded to just kind of keep selling and then ranging the rest of the day. And where really I wasn't necessarily sold on us selling off. I pulled up the RS map and it was pretty clear that, there's a very clear line in the sand where the low of day was going to be. Like, we weren't going to have a big sell off. So I was pretty comfortable with my risk. My initial long was extremely light. And then I just kind of added throughout the day on both of these big pullbacks, two levels that we wanted to long. I longed the reclamation of this POC. Which actually ended up being today's POC as well. And then I also longed what would have been Friday's low, expecting us to go up and catch this level here. We had this level pre-market, which was 52.64, which was the high of day, which was also Friday's high of day. And just nothing happened. I mean, I'll pull up the trade here in a second. We just sold and just then consolidated at where I really wanted to be long at. And that's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. Ended up basically just taking a really small scratch trade on that. I mean, technically was a red trade, but not enough to really make me concerned. We didn't go far enough one way to stop me out. And we didn't go far enough in profit ever for me to take profit. So that's just kind of how it was. It was a smaller red day than a full stop would have been. And that's kind of the point of trading small as well on plays like this, where we know where the maximum downside risk is. And then we also know that there is huge potential to the upside. You have to play the appropriate leverage to take that maximum downside risk or take small stops along the way. Since I was playing so small and the downside risk really wasn't that far off, I just was honestly comfortable kind of sitting in drawdown and adding at some of these important levels further down. And that's what we did. And like I said, we didn't even take that big of a stop. We were only a few MES, like 2 MES on our initial trade. And then we added pretty heavy down here at 52.30. So like I said, we basically just closed just barely below our break even. We were actually in profit several times today. But like I said, we had a target of our initial target, as I talked about on Twitter this morning, was 52.64. I wanted to break that high of day, which was also Friday's high. That was just a very clear target for me. And then above that, I wanted us to catch a bid and just kind of melt up, which we just never did. However, the day ended up actually being green for me because we had pretty much the same setup on NQ as well. The only difference was NQ was actually bouncing off the level that I wanted to be long at. And, all of my long attempts ended up going into profit, and I was able to get my core off, and then the runners would either die at break even or I would just keep adding to my long. Honestly, most of the day, I just kept adding to the longs that I had, taking profit along the way, then adding some more, thinking that price would really take off, and it just never did. So luckily for us, we ended up having a pretty decent green day on NQ while taking a very small negligible loss on ES. So let's pull those trades up right here. And I talk about these every day in our the daily review section of the Discord. But here we go on ES. I wanted the long of the reclamation of 52.50. Didn't get it. And then just a little bit further down, we had the gap fill on SPY. And this is where I got long again. And then a little bit further down, I longed the reclamation of that gap fill. And then a little bit further down, we longed the Friday low area, which, I mean, I know it looks like a lot of points, but really today just didn't go anywhere with respect to what our actual target was, because our target was, 50, 100 points up, but we just didn't move, which I expect us to move this week. But, if we had actually broken above, it could have been a day where we floated up today. It just didn't. But I also looking at, RS, I knew that if we were to break into this bear zone, based on our gamma and volume levels here, if we were to break into this bear zone, then obviously, I would close out the position and we would take the loss, which would have became out to, for my risk management per account, about $300 per account. I copy trade, 20 Apex accounts, but we did tap the bear zone, but, it never, instantly bought right back up. So I was confident just being long and holding and thinking that we would buy right up, because this is my golden setup. Same thing with NQ. However, NQ, we kept buying the bottom of the bull zone and it just kept bouncing for us. So this actually worked out. This was great. But, as here you can see, we kept buying the bottom of the zone, kept bouncing. Everything was great. It just didn't go anywhere. And that's how it goes sometimes. Like I said, this is my golden setup. I love this setup. I'm going to be long like this every single time because I know what the potential is. If you guys come down here to Trading Education and go to Best Setup Ever, I mean, this is literally my golden setup. This is my favorite setup where we catch this long, and it usually runs every single time outside of, a few rare occasions, whereas today is one of those rare occasions where it didn't run. So that's okay. And like I said, our risk is really well defined on this too, which is why I absolutely love it, because I know where I can be long at, where I should be long at, what the potential is, and exactly where the risk is. So I know exactly how much leverage I can use to take this trade. So this is today was just basically a great example of not a failed golden setup, but just a golden setup that doesn't go anywhere. But at the end of the day, we didn't really take a loss. I mean, like I said, we got our win on NQ. ES just kind of chopped around, gave us a break even, but we would continue playing this exact same setup the exact same way, because in the long run, if I only played this setup, I would be very, very profitable. So that's what I'm going to continue doing, because that's what I've done my research on and what I love. So looking forward though, today was the day before all the big 3 news releases we have. Now we have to look forward and see, what are we going to plan now? We've had an inside day. Today was an inside day on RTH. We didn't break either side. We didn't break Friday's high or Friday low. So it's just a big consolidation day, which honestly, I'm just glad to come out green on a consolidation day, because these are my least favorite type of days. So I'm still holding the same bias as I did yesterday. I'm still long biased. I'm still buy the dip biased above 52.20. I really want to be long in this 52.30 to 52.20 zone. If we break below 52.30 and then hold 52.20, I really want to be long there. Take profit at 52.54 on the core, and then hold a runner for a target up here at all-time highs. I know we have an unfilled POC up here at 52.97. But yeah, that's pretty much how I am. I expect news to be bullish. PPI could kind of go either way, I guess. Maybe clean up some of this stuff down below, clean up some of the structure down below. And then CPI overall, I'm very bullish for that. And we'll explain more on why I'm super bullish for CPI tomorrow. I know we've talked about it a lot in Discord, but tomorrow I'll make a dedicated video talking about my CPI plan. But overall, yeah, that's still the overall plan that we have above 52.50. I mean, we have a well-defined range now between 52.50 or 52.60 and 52.30 here. So I don't want to play around in the middle of these two areas. But like I said, if we wick Friday's low and show any signs of support, I'm going to be stabbing longs. And then same thing as well, if we can get above 52.50 and actually hold, I know today I was faked out on it, but if we can get above and everything checks out, I don't mind stabbing light longs again if it can hold. Now, if we fail again, this time I'll probably take a stop depending on how RS looks and everything. But overall, I'm just long biased above 52.20, and with that 52.20 to 5200 area kind of being the buffer zone. Below 5200, I mean, if we actually sell, we know that our maximum defense level is 5150 that we talked about, this zone right here. I would expect that to hold. This would be the deepest pullback that I would expect on like a CPI move. or even tomorrow. If we end up selling tomorrow, the deepest I think we pull back is 51.50. And even in that case, if we pull back to 51.50 tomorrow, then I'm really, really looking for longs off that level. I mean, 51.50 is my ultimate long level here, because the risk there is very well defined as well. Under 51.50, well, then we're just straight back into bear season. I would expect us to go clean up these lows down here at 49.80, and maybe even work our way down to the 2022, 2023 highs. So that's what we're looking for right now. Like I said, overall bullish. We know what levels we want to be long at and what levels to take profit at. Above 52.50, I mean, we're just stabbing light longs or holding long runners to all-time highs. And then if, like I said, if we can get a long in that 52.30 to 52.20 area, ideally PPI tomorrow morning will wick us down into that, and we can get long and then hold longs for a very nice long trade. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not really, like I said, unless CPI comes out absolutely horrible, shorts are just off the table for me, and I'm looking for longs. That's my bias from all my research and everything that I think right now. That's my trade plan. So I hope you guys stay safe tomorrow. Keep your risk low and, your targets long, and let's have a good one. And, just try to stay safe and preserve capital, because once CPI hits, market's going to get really, really fun. So yeah, just got to survive one more day. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, keep it safe, and yeah, stay classy, San Diego.
This is how to make the best banana bread so you can make money.
Half cup premium butter,
3 bananas,
2 eggs, your preference of chocolate chips, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, 2 cups flour, 1 cup sugar. Could sell for brown sugar to change it up.
1 teaspoon baking soda, half teaspoon salt, half teaspoon cinnamon. Bake for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. After you pull it out of the immediately cover it tin foil and leave set at room temperature overnight.
The tin foil locks in the moisture so that when you cut into it the next day, you have a super moist and delicious bread.
And that's how you make the world's best banana bread. Eat banana, bread, bread. Eat banana.